everyone, I'm Sean and Henry. We got a hot group today on How Not to K-Pop. Hot group.
How hot are we talking about, Sean?
T-ara hot. We're going in on T-ara, a group with one of the most infamous controversies to ever go down in K-pop history. We'll give you all the deets as well as their most recent happening. Without further ado, let's get into it. They debuted 2009. It was after a few lineup changes, and Borum, Soyeon, Kyuri, Jie, Jiwon, Eunjung, Hyomin, and Jiyeon were the original T-ara lineup. Under Mnet Media, which quickly was moved to Core Content Media, and now they're known as a different company entirely. So Soyeon, interesting, was originally trained to be in Sonoshite, SNSD, Girls' Generation.
That would Soyeon be the oldest of the members?
Let's look that up. Fuck. No, that's an excellent question.
Immediately in our podcast, we stumble on a problem that we didn't check.
Well, there's an understanding that you'll research as well. It's not just me being the brain of the group.
You are the brain of the group, though. Chonboram is the oldest member. Soyeon, I believe, would be the second oldest. Oh, if anyone else is born in 87, then
we'll get to Borum further down the track.
There's more about Borum? What the hell does she do?
There is more about Borum.
All right, but in regards to Soyeon, being trained under SM for Girls' Generation. Girls' Generation debuted back in 2007. That's one of the reasons why I asked, is Soyeon the oldest of all the members there?
That's logic right there. That's
logic.
Pure Henry logic.
And what? Well, remember, Girls' Generation debuted 07. T-ara in 09. They debuted in 09.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that's 2 more years. And you imagine how K-pop idols train. They train when they're really young. So assuming Soyeon did train when they're really young and then attempted to debut in Girls' Gen, where, they'd be like 16, 17, 07. That means 09. She's probably 19, 20. Yeah. And usually in K-pop, when you're 20, you're not young.
Well, to sort of further to your point, maybe there was a reason she didn't quite make the cut, because T-ara debuted with Lies to poor reviews and criticism of lip-syncing their performance.
Oh.
So it wasn't a great start. And then November 27th, they released their debut album, absolute first album, which features Bo Peep Bo Peep, earns them their first music show win. So they win pretty quick. Their debut's somewhat impressive, because they also won Rookie of the Year award alongside 4 Minute at the Golden Disc Awards.
Oh, whoa. So, here's the thing. That's T-ara and 4 Minute are like completely different groups. 4 Minute's known for like really strong woman, independence.
Right.
But for people who hasn't listened to Bo Peep, that song is very, how do you say, disco? Would you say
disco cutesy, yeah. Wait,
disco cutesy. Like a touch of bubblegum, lots of disco, very cutesy. They're probably on like wheelies, not wheelies, skates. Roller skates.
Yeah, that's right. That's that one, the rolly one. Yeah,
they're on bloody roller skates in a disco, in a dance stage, disco, and them winning alongside 4 Minute. That's crazy. Rookie of the Year alongside 4 Minute. Usually it's just one Rookie of the Year, but for that occasion it was Rookies of the Year. That's 4 Minute. Tough girl, and then you got T-ara, which is not tough girl. That's interesting.
Cutesy stuff, which they continue to success, though. They were successful in their cutesy image, because 2010, like songs like Ya 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 and other ones were number ones. In July, they added members, Hwayoung, and Borum becomes the leader. See, I told you Borum would come up again.
You sorry, but you made it sound like something really bad happened.
It does, but that is later on. 2011, Roly Poly is released. Huge. 4 million in sales. It wins at the Mamas Best Music Video Award. Golden Disc, it wins. Charting high on the year-end charts like Gaon and what have you. And they're just a rocket ship at this point. Start of 2012, T-ara, they re-release the Roly Poly Black Eyes as Funky Town with the single Lovey Dovey, which proves a hit. It sells 3 million singles, number ones everywhere. Then, 2012 June, Arum is added to the group. There's 8 official members at this time. Day by Day comes next month. It has a 30-minute cinema-style music video. It cost 1 billion won to produce.
How much is 1 billion won in Australian dollars? Let's check.
About 12 million.
What?
Sorry, about 1 million, sorry.
That's crazy because
yeah,
you're practically making a movie, but this is a music video for 30 minutes. And man, they have crazy budgets for music.
When you've got 4 million sales, why not? Why the hell not just blow a mill on a cool music video?
And just period, like what, Rolly Polly, Lovey Dovey, Beep, it's all disco. It's still very 80s. The style of the songs are still very similar. Check it out on YouTube.
And
if you don't know.
many people at this point are calling them like the next girls' generation. They're that big is what I'm saying. Their success is meteoric at this point. But later in that month, Day by Day's release, July 2012, Hwayoung and T-ara have a bullying meltdown. We'll get into it later. There's a lot to get through. It's this huge mess. It results in Hwayoung leaving the group.
That's a very quick way to end that segment. Hwayoung leaves the group. Done.
I wish it was that simple.
It's not that simple, huh?
But all will be revealed. Their next single, Sexy Love, charts less impressively, number 4 on Gaon. A performance of this song causes an infamous Black Sea incident that we'll get into later on as well.
Sexy Love is actually the first song I heard from T-ara, and I loved it. I loved it. Check it out, especially the performance version where they do the robot and they're doing little glides and slides. Love it. I like Sexy Love much more than Bo Beep, Day by Day, stuff like that, mate. It's just Sexy Love.
For me, Lovey Dovey did it, which when you listen to them side by side, they're very similar songs. But yeah, Lovey Dovey just has a bit of an edge to it that I really like.
Yeah, okay. Well, I like Sexy. I really like Love. That's very sexy. What can I say?
That is definitely that's you to a T. So
yeah, you know what this podcast is getting into.
2013, they have to pay $350,000 in damages to a fashion company, Chatelaine, as a result of the 2012 bullying controversy.
You're putting information about the bullying controversy that I'm unsure of. I know it's just people listening might not know of. It's so early in the intro, so
it's because there was no way we were going to have time to discuss that little sidebar to the actual incident. I just thought it was interesting because I don't hear of too many idols having to pay damages to sponsors, which just shows how massive a deal this bullying controversy was.
So was it okay? I thought it was maybe the Black Sea incident is also from the bullying, I assume.
Yeah, safe to assume. Yep.
Right. All right.
And another sort of result of the bullying controversy is the creation of a T-ara N4 subunit. So just 4 members of the 8 or 9 at one point that T-ara were. So it's Eunjung, Hyomin, Jiyeon, and Arum. They start promoting with Countryside Diaries. And all these releases from Sexy Love onwards, they're trending downwards. Their later singles, especially one that you like, Henry, Sugar Free, it only charted 36 on Gaon.
Well, I've listened to Sugar Free. I enjoyed Sugar Free. Sugar Free, the thing about it was it's not a song that's like takes them leaps and bounds anywhere. Not just that, they have their problems. They're going through their problems. So while I enjoyed the song, it's not that amazing. Sorry, T-ara. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, the overall point is that this 2012 incident basically did them in. That's it. Like, they're done. They could release the greatest song in the world and it still wouldn't be number 1. Seems to be the case now. So 2014, T-ara signed with a Chinese company. So they're pivoting to China to pretty big success. May 2017 was their last performance as 6 members in Taiwan. And their 2017 comeback, What's My Name, was their first win since Lovey Dovey in 2012. And they won on the show, but it did chart poorly, which means the sales were pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because with all these shows, like with all these comebacks, they generate buzz, and all these shows like Music Core and Mnet's M Countdown and all of that, and the show, they take into account that social media aspect. Yeah, right. So it doesn't necessarily mean the highest selling song wins on those music shows.
Well, here's the thing. The song What's My Name is it's a very summer vibe, dance sound, house. Came out during the summer period. And some people might not know, but it reminds me of what Nine Muses did with Hurt Locker, I believe it's called.
For sure, yeah.
It's like it's a summer song. It's like AOA when they released Good Luck, even though that wasn't released in summer. But
no, I totally get what you're driving at. That the styles had already been done, and arguably had been done better by more current groups.
Not just that, usually when they start doing summer songs like these, they eventually break up.
It does feel like clutching at straws a little bit.
Yeah, so like I've heard those groups, for example, AOA, eventually they started to break, disband, like things start to get worse, and then it just doesn't work out for them in the end. And just knowing that T-ara went down this route, What's My Name, and it's very summery vibey. And then eventually, they're not together, I assume.
So currently, they have all left the agency, which was Core Contents Media. Now it's MBK Entertainment. But the members that remain, the 4 members, Hyomin, Kyuri, Jiyeon, and Eunjung, say they have not disbanded. T-ara still exists.
Yeah, so there you go. There you have it. Once you release a summer song that's in a way, can be very generic, you know that the group is not gonna end. It's gonna end soon, I guess. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it's just something that, I mean, come on, an 8-member group is down to 4 members now. Well, a 7-member originally, but still, like, come on. It's a skeleton crew now. It's not T-ara.
Pretty much, and you have Hyomin, who has a solid career. Eunjung is an actress. Eunjung debuted as an actress first. She achieved her dream. Being an actress was her dream, and she got that. She achieved it. I first saw Eunjung from a Korean show called, I forgot now. It's to do with it's
Damn it, Henry, remember the name.
I can't, man. It's like High School Musical, but not as a
built me up so much there.
Give me a second.
Do you mean Dream High? Do you mean Dream High?
I do mean Dream High.
Okay, thank goodness.
For Dream High, it had Eunjung, it had IU, it had 2 members from 2 PM. It also had another actor in it. Everyone loves him, but whatever. So Eunjung, that's where I saw Eunjung, and I fell in love with her. She became my favorite. She's not my bias, but she was the one that I would look forward to seeing when it comes to T-ara. I didn't know she was part of T-ara until like a much later. Either way, that's Eunjung. So we got an actress. Yeah, Hyomin, who's very good doing solo stuff. Kyuri, no idea what's going on. Jiyeon, I think she tried doing solo stuff. She still does solo stuff. I'm not sure, but
that's exactly it. She's still doing the solo stuff. In terms of charting, in terms of great success, not really happening. Yeah.
And what about Kyuri? Anything about her?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, well, there you go.
There's not too much going on. Yeah.
So the fact that they've all left the company that they're originally with, Core Contents, or whatever. MBK.
Now it's MBK Entertainment. Yeah.
MBK Entertainment. So they've all left. Technically, they're disbanded. That's it. That's the end of T-ara.
Sort of, but they're still called T-ara and they're keeping their name. And that was actually a big issue in the past 2 years that's recently been resolved. So in 2018, MBK attempted to trademark T-ara when these 4 members left the agency. And the members would be unable to perform as T-ara for 10 years and would have to pay royalties to MBK for every performance they do as T-ara. So it was a pretty big deal to the members that were left. And to me, so Core Contents Media create this group, as in they are the creators. And the members, sure, they make up the group, but in my opinion, they aren't the group. They aren't the owners of the name T-ara. They're the owners of their names, Hyomin, Jiyeon, Eunjung. They're not the owners of T-ara.
Yeah, so basically what I think is that MBK wants T-ara to be this group where you have different people come in, and so you have members that continually get replaced.
Which is fair enough. Like, fine, do that.
Like IOI, a girl group where every show it's a different group of girls for IOI technically, but just that one show that will be called iZone or Eyes One, whatever.
Yeah,
and maybe the next one they'll be called Izzy O or whatever, but it's still IOI, right? Produce 101.
Right.
Okay, from that show series. So what they're doing here is like using T-ara as a. These girls are done. We've got the next girls of T-ara. These girls are done. We've got the next girls of T-ara.
Which I think is the company's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that they are the owners of the concept of T-ara, and they can do with that whatever they want. That's my opinion.
I understand. It's just T-ara is more than just a simple having created a group and here you go. It's become a family. T-ara is a family of girls, right? It's not just those 4 members. It's also the other members that left. They were a family. Just because they went to another company or they've stopped performing, they're not K-pop idols anymore, does not necessarily mean they were never part of T-ara and they're never part of that family. No, the family's still there. T-ara is that family. And you can't put money, you can't put your money grubby hands on a family like that.
Well, it happens. It does happen in the K-pop industry with certain contracts. Of course, the example of Kara comes up. So a couple members leave Kara and they try and create a new Kara again. So they already had changed the lineup and by running a show, and they eventually landed on a person, but they kept the name exactly as it was. They didn't change Kara's name to, I don't know, Kara 4 or Kara third generation or something. They stuck with the original name, and I felt very yuck about that as a fan. So now as much as I'm strongly on the side of the company in this particular case, I totally sympathize with fans that would be like, what the hell, company? Like, T-ara is those members.
Exactly. So, see what I mean, guys? T-ara is a family. The company doesn't own T-ara. It can't.
And funnily enough, the courts agreed with that. It was rejected, and so, yes, Hyomin, Eunjung, Kyuri, and Jiyeon could all perform as T-ara despite having left the agency.
Exactly. So Henry 1, Sean 0, keep count.
Okay, so that was a little taster, a little entree, just to catch you up on what's currently happening in T-ara's world. Let's get to it. The bullying scandal.
We're going back in time.
We are going back in time, 8.5 years ago. Okay, so it all starts July 25th to July 26th, 2012. T-ara perform a couple concerts in Japan. Hwayoung performs one song, then leaves due to a leg injury. After the shows, Hyomin tweets, "The differences in levels of determination. Let us all have more determination." Jiyeon tweets, "The differences in levels of determination. Always be humble and sensible. I applaud you, acting genius." And other members retweet Hyomin's tweet. Hwayoung responds to the tweets, "Even determination alone is not enough, and God, you know everything, right?" In that kind of tone is how most people interpret that particular tweet. I just wanted to make that clear, like, I don't want to embellish the story too much. That is the general consensus that that's what that tweet meant.
Jesus, man. At this point, that's throwing shade. That's a... these guys are throwing shade. You got Hyomin throwing shade. You got Jiyeon throwing shade.
Absolutely.
And then, Jesus Christ, man. What's going on?
So Hyoyoung, Hwayoung's twin. So I want to point out, in the script, I put this in quotation marks, and then, to my surprise, they're legit biological twins. So, Joke's on me, I'm an idiot. Okay, so Hyoyoung backs up Hwayoung. My other half is going through troubles. Having a pretty face doesn't matter if your heart is evil. Is the person who is hurting not considered a human? I honestly want to cry. So T-ara's rap teacher, later, after all these tweets...
All right, let me say this one then. I mean...
chimes in with a hot take that Henry's got the attitude for. Bring it.
Brainless airheads do worthless shit, but this is really over the top. Not even thinking about when they were trash, right?
And
how's that?
That was amazing. Thank you so much. Brilliant.
Yes. Thank you.
T-ara's rap teacher would be proud wherever she is.
Well, she ended up denying that had anything to do with it.
Yes. I think she got in way too deep and backed out straight away. She was like, oh gosh, this is actually a huge deal. I'm just going to go home now.
So to you guys listening, this is just this is the the first mini segment of 3 of this full bullying scandal.
It's a 3-parter. Yeah.
It's a 3-parter. So right now, all I'm seeing is shade being thrown at Hwayoung and Hyoyoung, the twin sister of Hwayoung, trying to help her twin sister out. Whereas Jiyeon, Hyomin, they're just throwing crap at her. They're just writing sort of like they're not that vague as well. I believe the netizens eventually caught on pretty quickly that they were just throwing the shade at Hwayoung, especially it was right after the concert. And they're right. They really are. This, to me, that's pretty much bullying. You can see that right there.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this and I'm reading the word tweets and I'm thinking, why on earth did you post this in a public space? Just go on that group chat that Hwayoung might not know about and do it in private, guys. Like, how could you be that stupid?
Okay, first of all, I don't condone what Sean's suggesting. Don't go around bullying people anonymously. That's not...
Hey, everyone needs to vent. I sort of get it. Everyone needs to vent.
But Jesus Christ, man, they just don't put it up on the public space at all. Honestly, they should just be talking about it. You know, they're a group, they're a family. Jesus Christ, maybe MBK should just keep the name. T-ara.
That's it. We're taking it, guys. Go live your lives.
Oh God.
So naturally the media picked up this Twitter spat and netizens posted all of these moments that implicated members of T-ara treating Hwayoung badly or bullying her. This kind of makes me think of like a Reddit Bureau of Investigation style thing that's going on right here.
Netizens can be really good at detective work. I mean,
yes.
Don't be shocked. Don't be surprised, actually.
They've watched every episode of Law & Order. They must have, if they're that good at detective work.
All right.
Okay, so there are times where Hwayoung genuinely appears downcast and separated from the group, and I saw some of these moments, some of these photos in my research. Some of the notable ones that I picked up on. So Jiyeon is shown high-fiving all the members, but skipping over Hwayoung, who is first in line on a Japanese variety show after she bowled a strike or a spare, whatever it was. And she high-fived every other member besides Hwayoung. So I watched that and kind of cringed. I'm like, oof, there's something to that in my opinion. It wasn't
that
just
obvious.
A mistake.
It was that obvious, huh?
It was a bit, And also, there were these pictures of them at the Starlife Theatre, and there's one where Hyomin's poked her in the face just as the photo is going to be taken, and then is chatting to them or laughing with the other members with her back turned to Hwayoung. Now, I understand, I forgive the whole Hyomin poking her in the face and ruining a photo. You know, that could be a prank, that could be Hyomin's style of humor, and humor is subjective. It's not everyone's going to agree with one style of humor, sense of humor, right?
I agree. That's it's subjective, as you said, and some people can get hurt by a joke that's meant to be harmless.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's just how things are. But definitely, if you feel hurt about it, you should be telling them, "Oh, I didn't like that joke. I felt a bit hurt by that." You gotta let them know.
And okay, funny prank, but the second photos of her with her back turned to her. Oh, I mean, sure, if we're being very forgiving, maybe it was just a split second of that, or maybe it wasn't intentional at all. But it's just, you see so many photos of Hwayoung on the edge of the group or away from the group by like a meter or two whilst they're all talking to each other, and you do get that vibe of outcast.
Yeah,
it's unmistakable. Yeah. And further to that point, at the Idol Olympics, netizens noticed that she was left entirely alone for a good portion until Sistar members and Infinite members sat with her and took selfies with her and what have you. So every other girl group, guy group, boy group that participated at the Idol Olympics were together. That's how it works. You sit in your squad, which is your group, of course. Why was she left alone?
These are very, very question. These are questions that just, I don't think they can be answered. They're just so life-changing.
But Henry, here is a juicy tidbit for you to suckle on.
Oh, God.
Here's the tea. So later on, it is found that Hwayoung may have been faking the leg injury. She's spotted walking normally, then when cameras appear, having two guys assist her as if she's super injured and can't walk on the leg. And there's just a lot of evidence that slowly leaks out that Hwayoung lied about her injury. And believe it or not, netizens actually believed it and start criticizing the other side. T-ara start getting a free pass from netizens and start sort of being looked on positively, even though they were being completely trash-talked days ago before all this was coming out.
Jesus Christ, man. If anything, I think this fan base of T-ara are just as bad as the T-ara members. I'm sorry, man. Now they're just picking sides.
Hey, as they say, like, rotten breeds rotten, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Because so now they're on the side of people who are throwing shade at Hwayoung, and Hwayoung supposedly faked the leg injury. To me, both sides, Hwayoung's side and then the rest of T-ara's side, they're in the wrong. And so if I was part of the fan base, I would not be picking either sides. I'd actually be getting both sides to communicate properly and just fix this little problem of theirs. Like, what the hell's going on? Why are you guys not communicating, trying to fix a problem? Instead, you're just throwing shade and she's faking the leg injury. You guys are singling her out, leaving her alone, or poking her in the face. Come on, man. What the fuck?
No, exactly. Exactly. At this point, I'm just confused. I'm very confused, and it's very clear that there is massive miscommunications, or they're not even speaking to each other at this point. Who knows? But there's something deeply wrong at the core of T-ara.
There's also something deeply wrong with the core of the fan base.
Fair.
But yeah, fan base, come on, man. You can't be picking sides like that. It makes no sense. You've seen the bad side of T-ara with Hyomin and Jiyeon, but also you also see the other side. Hwayoung's not exactly true to herself as well, or true to you guys as well. So I don't understand why you would go back to say, oh yeah, the other T-ara members are good now. Nah, they're not good. They're not that good.
So
at least based on the information we're getting here. Come on.
If the first segment was the fellowship of the tweets, we've just gone through the two legs, and now
right. Okay, here's a better way to say that. So this first segment was literally directly about Hyomin and Ji, about the members' reactions.
Let me run with my Lord of the Rings reference.
It's not working, mate. Uh,
Now
so
we have the return of Hwayoung.
right, but basically the first part was about T-ara's handling. The second part is the fan base handling, and here's the third part.
Which is much more in the present. So, 2017, skipping way ahead, 5 years, oh my gosh. It comes out, staff members sort of say that Hwayoung did fall and did go to hospital to have her leg checked and was given a half cast, but took it off after leaving the doctors, the hospital, which is, it's strange to say the least. If a doctor tells you you're going to wear a half cast, you wear it. You don't just take it off. You don't just ignore the doctor. Come on.
I agree. That is strange.
Okay, let's conclude this saga then. The MBK founder Kim Kwang-soo in 2018 basically attempts to clear it up. Here we go. T-ara had to board an 8 a.m. plane for their Japanese concert in July of 2012. At about 7 a.m., their manager called me to say that Hwayoung had sprained her ankle on stage the day before. They'd gone to several hospitals, but the x-rays showed that nothing was wrong. However, Hwayoung arrived at the airport in crutches. The hospital had said she's okay and she can stand on stage without any problems, but Hwayoung said she couldn't walk. So I said, let's not put Hwayoung on stage and have the other members put on the concert without her. During rehearsals for the Japanese concert, the members were working to sync their choreography without Hwayoung, and Hwayoung had been sent to the hospital with the Japanese staff. But instead of returning to the concert arena, Hwayoung had gone back to the hotel. The Japanese staff who were with Hwayoung told the other T-ara members that Hwayoung had said she wanted to get her nails done at the hotel and that she'd gone to the bathroom without the crutches. The members got mad and used social media to condemn Hwayoung's behaviour. I told the other members at the restaurant to not talk about this now because their parents were there and that we should meet in South Korea to resolve the issue. Afterwards, T-ara went to Korea first while I stayed behind to take care of work in Japan. But on July 27th, backstage at Music Bank, Hwayoung said she wouldn't perform and threw her crutches, while her sister Hyoyoung sent threatening messages to T-ara's Arum. Arum was scared and showed the other members the messages, and the other members decided they couldn't stay still. I got a call in Japan and told my staff not to put Hwayoung on stage.
I'm surprised Hyoyoung decided to single out Arum when there was no mention of Arum actually doing anything as well.
Now, after reading that again for maybe the 5th time,
that's huge, man.
All I can gain from that is that, oh my gosh, this group had massive internal lack of cohesion, lack of chemistry with each other. They were not gelling as a group. They were not a unit. They were every man for themselves in a way.
Not a family.
Yeah, not a family. And so what seemed to happen, which does happen in herds and tribes and all that, is someone inevitably became the bottom rung, runt of the litter, the bullied one, the punching bag, unfortunately. I'm not saying it's right, I'm just saying it's sort of psychology. It's what happened, in my opinion. So T-ara having this meltdown back then, I think it was always going to happen. I think the group were always going to have some sort of problem that couldn't be resolved and would end up in them losing fans, losing respect of the industry, and having to break up or fade into obscurity.
It did seem like they weren't exactly going out of their way to fix that problem.
That's exactly it. So sort of to put it on the managers and the company people, they noticed. They knew this was happening. Staff members were even saying that Hwayoung fell and had her leg checked at a hospital. That's very private information. So they knew what was happening. They understood the dynamics of the group, and they didn't resolve it. They didn't step in. They did next to nothing and just let T-ara have this mindset and this horrible culture.
They let it continue.
Yeah.
Oof.
They were bystanders to this, and T-ara, as famous as they were, I gotta say, I wish they weren't, honestly, after this whole thing.
So, who's right, who's wrong? Are we standing on the side of Hyomin? Are we standing on the side of Hwayoung and Hyoyoung? Or are we standing on the side of the rest of the T-ara members, like Arum, Hyomin, and Jiyeon, Eunjang, Hyuri, all the other members?
I'll read
Who's right?
something.
Who's
I'll
wrong?
read something Aram said in 2018. Quote: "I don't think my members did anything wrong. There are disagreements in every group, but the world put the spotlight on T-ara because of the bullying controversy. We just didn't communicate enough, and we were careful of each other. I don't acknowledge that I was bullied, nor that they bullied me." So Aram is basically saying that first off, K-pop is full of these groups that have these spats, that have these bullying situations, and we have covered others, AOA being the famous example these days.
Yes, that's correct.
So I think there's 100% truth to that. And also says that the world put the spotlight on T-ara and sort of pinpointed, laser focused on T-ara. I half agree with, it's more that they were caught though, because they chose to put it in a public space.
Well, for anyone who don't know about the AOA incident as well, definitely listen to that episode. It happens to be our first episode. So
Yeah, we run through the whole meltdown that happened fairly recently. It was the last year, wasn't it? Well, 2019,
yes.
I should say, in case you're listening to this in the year 2050. Hello, bleep bloop. I'm not sure if that's the language now, but yeah.
That's racist, Sean.
Oh, no.
You can't say that. No, but seriously, AOA, Jimin, and Mina. So that was a bullying scandal. And then compared to T-ara, this one here, I'm gonna say T-ara's one was. Would you say it's worse?
Oh, it's heavy stuff, man. It's just, in a word, it's bitchy. It's ugly. It's a black mark on K-pop history.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you talk about black, oh, I see what you wrote. Okay. Oh, sorry, mate. I just ruined your segue.
I wasn't necessarily segued. I truly believe it is a black spot on K-pop history. But moving on.
Yeah.
What comes to mind when I say Black Sea incident?
All right, so I'm gonna be really, really straight. I'm gonna be really honest here. When I first saw the Black Sea incident written on the script, I was thinking, all right, Black Sea incident. Maybe it's got to do with a concert, bullying. Maybe this is a different scandal, or not even a scandal at all. Something stupid. But what is the Black Sea incident exactly?
It all goes back to September 2012. Hey, we're going back to when they were in the middle of their controversy, their bullying.
Okay.
So September 2012, T-ara performed Sexy Love at the World Conservation Congress K-pop Nature Plus Concert is its full title.
Okay.
And the fans turned off their light sticks en masse in protest of the group, and they were quiet for their performance, which is very unlike fans of any K-pop group when they're watching them perform live. As you see, look up any pretty popular group on their M Countdown performances pre-COVID, and you'll hear all the fan chants. They're yelling their name, they're yelling, "You guys rule," they're yelling #1 or whatever. But for T-ara, the opposite happened in this performance. It was crickets.
Oof, that's really awkward, mate.
Oh, it's devastating. I cannot imagine this happening. I do not wish this upon any K-pop group, big or small, unless that group has, I don't know, murdered someone or something absolutely despicable.
Well, it wouldn't be a Black Sea incident. It would just be nobody would appear at the concert. They would just leave.
because the concert would be in jail because they murdered it. So.
Exactly. That was a bad example, Sean.
Yep, terrible.
I'm curious as to what would you do if let's say you were performing, or we were doing a live podcast, and then everyone just tuned out. Like imagine they're sitting there, but they put on headphones, earphones, and just started listening to their iPods and looking at their watches until our podcast was done. What would you do, man? That was imagine that was our Black Sea incident. What would you do?
It would affect me. It would make me feel sick to my stomach, and it would make me stumble over my words, stutter. It's a worst nightmare.
I think for me, I would actually just leave. There's no point staying there. But the fact that T-ara...
That's kind of funny. You're just mid-sentence, you notice that no one's into it, and that's when I... Look
I'm
at the
already paid
time.
for this.
Goodbye, all.
Yeah, you never know. They might actually take off their headphones and then you sit back down. Wait. See, T-ara had the balls to continue with their performance, and they finished it
Okay,
in the
fair
midst
call.
of a Black Sea incident.
Yeah, props to them, because the footage is cringy in that way, in that they're giving their all, and the crowd's just not into it, to be frank. And I don't know if it was camera angles or the mixing of the audience mics with the live performance music and the live performance vocals. That's possible. Maybe the engineer messed up and turned the crowd way too far down. So on video, it's silent. If you were actually there, you'd hear all this cheering. That could be the case. I truly believe that it was subdued, the crowd overall, and light sticks were off enough for there to be a Black Sea for that performance.
Which takes me to the next part. T-ara's fan base is crazy.
Well, they cancelled them. Hey, it's cancel culture before cancel culture even existed. So T-ara, the group of the future, pioneers. Congratulations.
This is the same group that was actually put under. They were meant to be the next girl's generation, right?
Absolutely. We need to understand how truly famous and big those T-ara hits were. 4 million, 3 million copies. So much money is being made. They're selling like hotcakes. They are number ones all over the place. Like, that's... Number one is a big deal. I know it gets thrown around a lot, so it sort of becomes less of a big deal. But to be number one on the charts means you have sold a lot. And you are very successful. You are being approached by every show. Every celebrity wants to get a photo with you, that kind of thing. That's what T-ara was at that time, and oh boy, they just plummeted back down to earth. And that's what this Black Sea is the perfect example of. It's a group that were at the highest highs are now crashing down.
Yeah, so they were also Rookie of the Year alongside 4 Minute. And again, 4 Minute being more along the sides of a tough girl, independence. Whereas T-ara was more about cutesy girl and dancey stuff. And then from being Rookie of the Year, getting all the selling a whole bunch of copies, being number one, dropping like that from this bullying scandal and that Black Sea incident. That's crazy. That is a hell of a fall too. They never recovered at all.
100%. They just could not dig themselves out of this hole.
Yeah, you've got, like, let's say Super Junior, for example. One of the guys gets into a DUI, Kangin. If you guys don't know, Super Junior is an episode that we did before. So if you haven't listened to it, check it out. It's uploaded. But yeah, so he was a bit diva and he was causing problems as well. But the group continued on. They were still great. But with T-ara, you have this scandal like this with just one member, it's Hwa Young. But it just kept going downhill. Down and down, man. And they never recovered. And eventually, you know what happened? They released a summer track. And that's it. That's the end of T-ara.
Okay, so...
What is this T-ara and for Chris Brown, Wiz Khalifa stuff you're talking about?
Well, young lad, the year was 2013. No. I'm not going to continue that way. So here's a weird story. T-ara M4, 2013, they suddenly changed their schedule to perform at a party held by Wiz Khalifa. In my imagination, it sort of went like this. Bring. Hey, it's Wiz Khalifa. Come perform with me. Okay, thanks, bye. Doop. And they did.
Okay.
And they went. They went from Korea to America to perform in bikinis, footage of them in a hot tub, basically doing that LA rapper lifestyle. LA.
So wait, is this video up on YouTube?
There's footage.
Okay, I'm gonna search that. Continue.
Of them performing at the very least. Their hit Countryside Diaries. Well, hit. I mean, it did fairly well. So
I'm still searching.
netizens from conservative Korea, they're very confused. Other netizens from other parts of the world are confused because they were meant to be performing at a Chris Brown concert that was meant to be this huge thing. Now, I don't fully know if there was confusion or what, but they ended up performing twice, maybe 3 times at this Memorial Day weekend event held by Chris Brown and Wiz Khalifa. So this is separate to them in a hot tub footage.
Is it at Palms Pool, Las Vegas?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I found it. So, if you want to check it out, T-ara N4 Palms Pool, Las Vegas performance.
So what's not to like,
fun.
right? Like some very pretty girls, T-ara N4, in bikinis.
Yeah, and they're doing some moves that are...
Yeah. What more do you want?
Jesus, okay.
Well, Sean does want more. Because, come on, man. How much are they really showing?
Well, first of all, you're disappointed in the fact that it's almost bikinis.
Just go all the way. As in, come on, you're partying it up in America. You're on the verge of having a massively big hit, Countryside Diaries, which was picking up momentum and steam. It got, over 1 million views on YouTube and what have you. Just go all the way. And even if it's negative publicity, all news is good news.
Who's the perverted guy now, huh?
I'm just saying, if they're going to go to a Wiz Khalifa, Chris Brown, rappers or R&B people party, live that life for a moment, for a hot minute. Just do it. Just go all in.
See, I say that while Sean's complaining about them not wearing full bikinis, and I'm watching the performance as they dance rather in a... I think because of... If you watch the video, the way they dance is very simple. It's nothing crazy, not even very K-poppy, to be honest.
So here's my theory, that they're in way over their heads. No one saw this coming. Chris Brown and Wiz Khalifa are legends, and amazing that they thought to do this. But the whole thing was a walking advertisement. It was a big publicity stunt for the English remixes of Countryside Diaries, which featured Wiz Khalifa and Chris Brown. So the whole thing is this 10-minute, thousands upon thousands of dollars cost marketing stunt, publicity stunt. And we don't know what kind of condition they were in. They just were off a long plane ride, and they literally changed their schedule and dropped everything for this Wiz Khalifa, Chris Brown thing, only to, perform in almost bikinis and perform kind of without much energy? It just is strange. It's such a weird vibe.
Yeah, so the fact that I just heard about this tells you a lot about this little publicity stunt. Generate buzz, my ass. It hurt anything, mate. I didn't even know they did this.
Unbelievable.
This is 2013.
I read this story in my research and was kind of, it's like something from one of those absurd sitcoms like Seinfeld or Curb Your Enthusiasm or something. It's just a really bizarre story in the history of T-ara. It's just a very strange little footnote.
This is the same time period, 2013. It's the same time period when they released Sexy Love, as when I started listening to T-ara. But I never knew about this. Why not? I want to see the performance. Because after watching the performance video, yeah, you can tell it's very strange. It's also very unlike a typical K-pop group, to be honest. It's more like a dance group.
Yeah. Yeah, they seem like they were just flown in as imitation T-ara. They seem like imitation dancers, even though it's actually them. I'm speechless. I'm kind of speechless watching it.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to get at is the way the performance it's done and whatnot. Seems like the members were like a typical dance group. And a dance group in Korea, I'm not talking about like your simple cover dance groups by fans.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the genuine, those dance groups where the focus, sure, they dance, but the focus is more on the clothes, the skimpy clothes that they wear alongside the dance. They're not necessarily able to dance, but they do it anyway because it's showing off cleavage and whatnot, and it's just showing off their S-line, sexy body and figure. That's what the performance looked like. That's what this, T-ara N4 with performance on the Wiz Khalifa, Chris Brown, whatever the crap concert you call it, I guess, is. And it's Jesus Christ, man. If anything, it feels like T-ara and 4 had fallen before they even reached the end of their bullying scandal.
Yeah, publicity stunts are cool and all, I totally get it, but whoever made that call for them to change their schedules for this, not worth it.
Yeah, not worth it at all. They don't even do the same music as Chris Brown and Wiz Khalifa.
Funnily enough, this is one of the best examples of our show title. This is how not to K-pop. This is how you do not do this.
Yeah, also bullying is also how not to K-pop. You do it, and then things go bad, and then the group disbands, like AOA and T-ara as well. That's not how not to K-pop, bro.
Okay, let's get back to 2020. T-ara. Do they even matter? Does anyone care?
I don't listen to them anymore. The fact that the members pretty much started leaving. Yeah, 4 members left. To me, that was the end of T-ara.
Yeah, they're done. People know them not for lovey-dovey, not for roly-poly, not for their biggest of big hits, but they know them for the bullying.
Yeah.
That's how they identify them. That's their identity now.
And the Black Sea incident where they used a black light. Not a black light, no, I'm just kidding.
Happen.
Right.
That did not happen.
It didn't happen. I assumed it was until I read up about it, and Sean tells me, and I'm like, right. Okay, so it's not about a black light. It's actually they turned off their lights in protest. Okay.
So besides Henry being let down, what else is a little sad is that some of these members, in my opinion, genuine star power, genuine talent. Hyomin and Jiyeon.
Who are you talking about?
Hyomin and Jiyeon. Hyomin has charisma. It's fierce, but it's there. Just like, fierce, like Hyuna, because it's got a little bit of sexiness, or even Sunmi of Wonder Girls fame, who had a very successful solo career. It's very much like those people, Hyomin, to me.
Well, here's my little problem with Hyomin especially. Comparing Hyomin with Hyuna does not work at all, because Hyuna has power. She has charisma, whereas Hyomin's charisma is very...
What?
To me, very tiny. Shut up. It's very tiny, and Hyomin's sexiness, the strong girl, don't feel strong. It doesn't feel strong to me.
What?
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I'm gonna search up one of Hyomin's solo
nice
tracks.
Go watch Nice Body.
Exactly. No, that's exactly the song I wanted to search up. To me, that's not really a very strong woman. That's very different from Hyuna. Hyuna can do... She went through a lot, and she made her own persona. And, mate, that's power. That's star power. Hyomin was just trying to be sexy and somewhat sexual. That was it. But there's no strength in that.
I'm sort of going to meet you in the middle there, in that, yes, Hyuna built this incredible empire as that strong image, which has a bit of sexy in it, and just great success, great charisma in general. But Hyomin was at the very least on that same trajectory. She just went the other way. She went the wrong way. She went down, unfortunately.
Oh, I see. Down, huh? How? You are one perverted mother. So, for people who don't know, check out Hyuna's the episode we did for Hyuna. So you check that episode out, then you get an idea with how Hyuna got big. All right, with the group 4 Minute. She's from 4 Minute, by the way, the same girl group that got Rookie of the Year alongside T-ara.
Exactly.
Okay?
These two people, I mean, as well as these two groups, were both on the same trajectory. One, massive success. I think, although 4 Minute aren't Girls' Generation level, they're not top of the absolute top or 21 level, they're still very successful. Hyuna's very successful. T-ara, same trajectory, Rookie of the Year. Years later, nothing. No one cares about them. The bullying controversy did them in solo as well. Their solo careers haven't taken off like Hyuna's did. But Hyomin, in my mind, without doubt, had that same trajectory, was on the same path. Just somewhere along the way, she faltered.
If I'm correct, T-ara actually had a reunion.
Yeah, and there's even talks of them releasing something as the 4 members that currently run as T-ara.
All right. Because like what I do know, at least from Wikipedia, like October 2nd, the 4 members reunited just to perform like Rolly Polly, Sexy Love, and this was in celebration to Chuseok, a holiday in South Korea. They did this alongside other members as well, so that was their little reunion for this year. That was not long ago. That was just 2 months ago, too. So wow.
But no one cares. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no one cares. that's why Sean just like didn't say anything because he didn't care. He just blanked out.
Yeah, I literally fell asleep. That was such boring news. No.
How could you, man? That's bad. That's bad of you.
Look, at the end of the day, the best way I can summarize T-ara's career is these words of wisdom, this sage advice. Act in the way you want to be remembered, then you'll go down famously rather than infamously. So if T-ara wanted to be remembered as akin or in the same league as Girls' Generation, which they were certainly coming close to, all they had to do was not make certain internal issues public. Those tweets were the start of this whole meltdown. Now, I could also argue that the changing of members may have harmed the dynamic. Maybe psychologically something was being messed with there, but that's only speculation. I don't fully know or believe that. To me, it really was the group's mentality the whole way through. From debut onwards, they clearly had some issues.
Yeah, I agree. It had nothing to do with the... It's not like the company made it bad. Sure, the company
that too.
could have done something.
Right.
And it wasn't like the fans made it bad.
Right,
It really was T-ara itself that just the members themselves fell apart. You know, AOA, for example, in our first episode, AOA was you had Jimin, the leader, but also you had other members and staff, especially the CEO, I believe. You had that little problem. Whereas with T-ara, it's just the members themselves. So, I don't know. I don't know, man. T-ara, I don't. If they reunited again, I wouldn't care.
On that sunshiny note, that closes another episode of How Not to K-pop. T-ara, they were at the top. They fell hard with the bullying controversy. It got ugly on Twitter and with netizens, and from there they faded into obscurity, partly because other girl groups started just dominating. Sistar comes to mind, AOA comes to mind, among other groups that just took over, like the current ones, IOI, I guess, being another example.
You have groups like Blackpink as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Red Velvet.
How can I forget? Yeah, the YG groups, the SM groups have started taking over as well, just like Girls' Generation were doing back in the day. So thanks so much for listening, commenting, and subscribing to How Not to K-pop. New episodes are out every Monday morning, Australian time. Follow us on Instagram at SepatorProd, SEPATOR Prod.
I like how you had to spell that out.
You just don't like it, do you, Henry? The second I say those 4 syllables, you're like,
At How Not to K-pop sounds so much better. You could have just gone that route. You could have.
I'm Sean. That's Henry. How Not to K-pop. Till next time.